Basic Architect. Yeah, you can tell from the view we're out at the Riverside project, and today I'm going to do a little talk about ventilation systems. We're using the Zehender system here, and I know you're thinking, hey, ventilation system, why isn't he inside talking about it? Well, because it all starts out here. So if we take a walk over to the wall here, you'll see two ports. One is a supply port and one is an exhaust port. This is the supply port. That is the exhaust port. There's a reason why I know that is because I wouldn't want to put the exhaust port down low. I wouldn't want to put that high so that I don't get any re-entrainment, right? Also notice that those ports aren't, a foot off of the ground in the band joist. So when you come out here and you cut your lawn, guess what kind of smell you'd end up having in your house for a day or two, right? Cut lawn, cut grass. So those ports, they have to be a minimum of 10 feet displacement from each other. That's horizontal or vertical. So you can see we have more than that. We're probably on the order of about 15 feet in displacement there. Those go into that chase, go downstairs into the basement. So why don't we jump inside? You can take a look at where those pipes go and then talk a little bit more about the Zehender system. So let's hop inside. All right, so we jumped inside. You can see behind the stairway here, we created this 2-foot service bay. Now, you can see here, they follow this one all the way up. You can see that's the one that tucks outside, the exhaust up there. And then you can see down here, this one coming in from the outside. That is our supply duct. Notice both of them are running down into the mechanical room, down through this service corridor. So let's go take a look down in the mechanical room and we'll follow the pipes. All right, so we're down in the mechanical room. We've come to the end of the line, literally. These two ducts, this one here and this one here, back there are those two ducts that we saw going to the outside. So one of them is bringing air in, one of them is exhausting air out. Now notice that those two pipes have a pair of twins on the front of the unit here. So this is the Zehender Comfo Air Q system here. It's an ERV, energy recovery ventilator. So what's basically happening is we're pulling that outside air in. It's going through the unit. There's an enthalpy wheel there, strips off the energy of the outgoing air, puts it onto the incoming air, puts it into the supply pipe. The supply pipe takes it to the house and supplies the house with fresh air or outside air. The return side of all of the ducts then come in to the unit via the same set of ductwork going to all the different rooms in the house. It brings that interior stale air back to the unit, goes across that enthalpy wheel, strips the energy off of it, dumps it onto that incoming air, and then the stale air with the energy removed from it is then sent up through that duct and to the outside. Now, you can see here the ducts, the supply, when it comes up, it basically gets separated here. We actually, the homeowner, 3D printed a turning vane in here so it can separate the air and basically split it. So what's happening here is you can see that air goes up and it basically comes to a distribution box here. So we have that large duct that comes in, and then notice that in this particular one we have, I think it's 8 tubes, 8 of the 3-inch Comfo tubes that come out of that, and then you can see all of those tubes here racing around to different locations in the house. We might be able to, actually we have a port right here. So in the mechanical room you can see that's what one of the ports looks like, and we have 2 of those lines that basically get plugged into that port. And then likewise, in some conditions those ports are acting like return registers. So they're getting the removal of air, it's bringing it back into this other box here, and bringing all of the little ducts back into the centralized location to then be returned to the unit here and then get whisked away to the outside. Now, both of these have these turnoffs and they go out there, so if we follow along what's happening out here, we have our wall there that has our distribution shaft. But notice that down here we have the same distribution boxes there with the same 8 pipes. And those 8 pipes come out of each one. 8 of them are dedicated to supply, 8 of them are dedicated to return. And then if I just climb up here a little bit, you'll see all of those tubes there are dedicated to go up to the floors above and either are supplying air or they're bringing the interior stale air back. But that's basically the basics, or building science 101 of a Zehender unit, right? We're taking outside air, we're bringing it in, we're stripping the energy off the outgoing air, putting it on that inside air, and then it gets micro-distributed all throughout the house. One of the beauties of the Zehender system over a lot of systems is that it actually distributes to every location in the house via those comfo tubes. Now, it's not a lot of air. We're probably talking anywhere from maybe 18 to about 30 CFM per room, but it's enough that as it gets distributed house-wide, it makes for a very comfortable house, but it improves the air quality inside significantly. And when we're dealing with houses that are going to have passive house levels of air leakage, you know, this house included, I'm expecting us to be in maybe a 0.3 range, 0.4 range of air tightness here. It's very important that we have that set of lungs that's operating for us to give us that air quality inside that's fully filtered. So anyways, Steve Basic Architect, I'm out here at the Riverside project. That's the basics of the Zehender system. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Until next time, long live our buildings.